Welcome back to First or Last. Again, my name is Troy Roberts, and I'm here to give you my ESPN Fantasy Football draft recap. It's a 12-man PPR league. I'm going to basically go through my starting lineup and then go through the bench. Dak Prescott, that's my quarterback. I got him. He's consistent. Last year he had an off year. Elliott was gone for a long time, 8 games, half the year. And they added a few weapons this year. They got Randall Cobb. They still got Amari Cooper, Elliott, depending on his whole situation, his holdout situation. But I think that'll be resolved. That's what everybody's saying. I don't know, to be honest, but I'm hoping it'll be resolved. But I think he's going to be consistent. He's going to be like 20 points every game, and that's what I want. Consistency. I'm going to go into my running backs. I got Kamara as my number 1. That was my first draft pick overall. I was number 3 in this draft, and he was my first draft pick. And with Kamara, he gets a lot of touches, and he's a dual threat. He catches the ball, he runs the ball. He gets a lot of yards. Drew Brees likes him, so I'm gonna go with him. Mark Ingram's gone, and then weirdly I have Mark Ingram as my RB2 with the Ravens. He's supposed to be the starting running back. They're saying he might play all 3 downs, and if he plays all 3 downs, he's going to be real dangerous. So that's why I picked Mark Ingram. Wide receiver, my 2 receivers I picked up, which I think both could be basically wide receiver 1s. I got Antonio Brown and Mike Evans. Antonio Brown, I don't like the situation with the helmet, but it's not that big of a deal. He was just a top 5 pick the last couple years, so I kind of felt like he was a no-brainer. I think he dropped down to the 20s for me, or 19. So I had to pick him up. And then Mike Evans, he came in right after that. And Mike Evans has been a top 10 receiver for the last couple of years. So especially with Bruce Arians going to the Buccaneers, kind of changing up the offense a little bit, it might get him more touches. Not that he doesn't get touches as it is. Then we're going to go to tight end, Evan Ingram. Again, he's one of my value picks that I thought was going to be a good pickup this year. He was pretty good last year when he played. He was just hurt a lot. But with Eli Manning coming back in and having that another year with him, another year just with his tight end and getting that relationship secured, I think he's going to have a good year. So Evan Ingram's my tight end. He's my starting tight end. I got my flex. I got Allen Robinson, who he was a top 10 receiver, I think, 2 years ago. He got hurt last year, so we'll see how this goes. I kind of got him as somewhat of a flyer. We'll see what happens. I know he's starting, so we'll see where that goes with Trubisky. And I got, rounding it out, my defense and my kicker. I have the Cowboys defense. They're young. They're good. If you watched them last year, all 16 games, they were pretty good at holding the run back, and they were pretty good at keeping from the big plays. They had a few, but they ended up making the playoffs without doing much as an offense. So I think Cowboys defense is pretty underrated. Harrison Butker as my kicker. He's valuable. The Chiefs score a lot, so he's always going to get you points. So that's why I picked him up. Then I'm going to go to my bench. I think my bench is where I kind of won as well. I think my starters are pretty good. I think I got a good team. I'm gonna make playoffs. I'm almost positive, depending on injuries. We'll see how that goes. But my bench, I have AJ Green on my bench, Tevin Coleman, Jordan Reed, Matt Breida, Mitchell Trubisky, Cole Beasley, and Frank Gore. So AJ Green, top 3 receiver. I'll say top 10. Top 10 receiver the last 5 years. Been injured a lot, but when he's in, he's a top 10 receiver. So if he comes in and I got Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and AJ Green in my starting lineup, that's dangerous. And then I picked up Tevin Coleman. I picked up Matt Breida. So whoever ends up being the starter, I got him. I got the handcuff as well. So we'll see how that goes. And then I got Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed was hurt a lot, and he even said it himself. He never really healed up from last year. The whole season he was kind of a little banged up, so we'll see. He said he's 100% healthy this year. He's feeling good, so I like Jordan Reed. That's a good pickup. I like him and Evan Ingram. I feel like I could switch those guys out. Doesn't really matter. I could have both of them as starter. I got Trubisky. He's kind of here and there. His throwing's a little whatever, but he's got legs. His accuracy is a little off. We'll see what happens. And then I got Cole Beasley and Frank Gore to round it out. Again, it's a 12-man PPR. Cole Beasley, he's going to start for the Bills. Slot, obviously, he's going to be a slot receiver. We'll see what happens with him. He gets a lot of catches and every catch, so I could see him being a 10-plus point player every week. Good guy to have on my bench. Frank Gore, we'll see what happens with him and the Bills. They have McCoy, they have Gore, they have TJ Yeldon. So I don't know who's going to start there, and I picked him up as a flyer. We'll see what happens. He's never ages. Him and LaShawn McCoy, I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm not into either of them, but I had to get somebody. So that's my whole team. This was my ESPN 2019 fantasy football draft recap. I think it was a good squad, 12-man PPR. I got another ESPN draft coming out next week. Be on the lookout for the top 3 stocks of the week. That comes out every Monday before the stock market opens. And again, first or last, subscribe. My name's Troy Roberts. Thank you again.